Now we have a question for the z-score. Before starting the question, so let us recap what is the z-score formula. Z is equal to x minus mu divided by sigma. X is our number in the question. Mean is the mean of the population. And then sigma is the standard deviation. What is the z-score? A z-score describes the position of a raw score in terms of its distance from the mean when measured in standard deviation units. The z-score is positive if the value lies above the mean, which means on the bell-shaped distribution in the normal distribution on the right-hand side of the mean, and negative if it lies below the mean. So, in our question, what we have, let us read the question. It says that one of the tallest living men has a height of 245 centimeters. One of the tallest living women is 230 centimeters. So I can say that X man, which is equal to 245, and I can say that X woman, which is equal to 230 centimeters. And then heights of men have a mean of 177. So the mean for the men is equal to 177. And standard deviation is 6. So standard deviation for the men is equal to 6. And then heights of the woman have mean of 160. So mean for the woman 160 centimeter, and the standard deviation is 8. So standard deviation for the woman is 8. Relative to population of the same gender, who is taller? And explain the reason. So we have to use the z-score. Z-score is equal to x minus mu divided by standard deviation. So z-score for the men, if we calculate 245 minus 177 divided by 6. So if I take my calculator, so let me calculate it, what will be. So it is, here the calculator, I got it. 245 minus 177 divided by 6, which is equal to 11.3. So this is now z man, if I say 11.3. Now similarly, let us calculate for the woman. So which will be 230 minus 160 divided by standard deviation, which is 8. So by using the calculator, 230 minus 160 divided by 8, which is equal to 8.75. 8.75. So when we look at here, the z-scores, it's clear that, whenever we have, let me explain here since there is no place there. So whenever I have here a bell-shaped figure, let's say it is here, let's say this is my mean value. So z-score is 11.3 means, so my number is, let's say, here, and then z-score is 8.75, so my value is here, 8.75. So how far from the mean 11.3, how far from the mean 8.75? So I mean for the men, the given value is 11.3 centimeter more than the mean, and the other is a z-score, and the other is 8.75. For that reason, we should choose the man is better. So where is the man is relatively taller because the z-score for his height is less than z-score for woman height, so this is wrong. The man is relatively taller because the z-score for his height is greater than the z-score of the woman. Yeah, that's the answer. So z-score of the man is greater than the z-score of the woman. which means the z-score is how far from the mean of the population. So when we compare these two guys, I mean men and women, among their population, I mean the man between the man, woman between the woman, so their z-score says that the man's z-score 11.3 is greater than 8.75, so we can say that with respect to their population, with respect to their generation or their set where they are being, it's easy to say that the man is taller than the woman. Okay, there is another question. If your score on your next statistic test is converted to z-score, which of the z-score would you prefer and why? So, as I told you guys, so when we think that this is the bell shape, so this is the mu, negative 2 mu is on the left side, negative 1 is on the left side, 0 is exactly the mu, and positive 1 and positive 2, if I say 1 and here, so the greatest result, which is 2 standard deviation far away from our mean value, the z-score is 2, we can prefer, so where we have z-score 2 here and just here, so directly the result is this. But let us read to be sure. The z-score of 2 is most preferably because it is 2 standard deviations above the mean and would correspond to the highest of the 5 different possible test scores. So imagine if the standard deviation is 6 points, okay, and then z is 0 means directly your score is equal to mean value, which is 60. So negative 1 and negative 2, which means on the left side, positive 1 and positive 2, which means on the right side. So positive 2 is when you think like a distance from the positive 2, z is 2 and z is 0 here. So this distance is greater than when z is 1. So when z is 1, this is the distance. When z is 2, this is the distance. So this is your mean value here, which is 60, for example. So you are maybe 64, 68, whatever, which is obviously clear that more than this point. Okay, so that's the answer of the question. I hope it's clear you understood. If there's any problem, you can text me or you can make a comment here in YouTube and I try to answer it. All the best, guys.